Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, lived a wise and thoughtful king. He was deeply concerned about the character of his people. He noticed that while many were wealthy and powerful, they often complained and shirked their duties. To teach them a valuable lesson, he devised a simple but profound test. One night, under the cloak of darkness, the king had a massive boulder placed right in the middle of the kingdom's main road. This wasn't just any path. It was the primary route used by everyone, from wealthy merchants to humble farmers. He then hid nearby, curious to see how his subjects would react. As dawn broke, the first to arrive were some of the kingdom's richest merchants. Their carts, laden with goods, came to a grinding halt. Seeing the giant rock, they didn't even consider moving it. Instead, they grumbled loudly. "What kind of kingdom is this? The king collects so much in taxes, yet he can't even keep the main roads clear." They turned their carts around, adding hours to their journey, all the while blaming the king for their inconvenience. Next came a group of courtiers and high-ranking officials, known for their eloquent speeches and grand appearances. They approached the boulder, looked at it with disdain, and started philosophizing about the problem. One said, "This is a metaphor for the obstacles in life." Another added, "Someone should really do something about this." They talked and talked, but none of them lifted a finger to solve the actual problem. They simply walked around the boulder, leaving it for someone else to handle. Later, a procession of religious leaders passed by. They saw the boulder and declared it a sign from the heavens, a test of faith. They prayed for its removal, asking for divine intervention. They believed their duty was to pray, not to engage in physical labor. After their prayers, they too bypassed the obstacle, confident that they had done their part. Throughout the day, countless people came and went. The story was the same. They complained, they blamed, they philosophized, or they prayed, but no one took responsibility. The boulder remained, a silent testament to their collective inaction. The king watched from his hiding spot, his heart growing heavy with disappointment. Was this the true character of his people? As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the road, a lone peasant made his way home. He was a simple farmer, carrying a heavy load of vegetables from the market. He was old, tired, and his back ached from a long day's work. When he saw the enormous boulder, he sighed. He could have easily walked around it like everyone else. He was exhausted, and it was getting dark. But then, he thought about the travelers who would use the road at night. He thought about the families with children, or the elderly who might stumble in the dark. He couldn't just leave it there. It wasn't his job, but it was the right thing to do. So, he put down his heavy load, rolled up his sleeves, and set his shoulder against the cold, hard stone. He pushed with all his might. The rock barely budged. His muscles screamed in protest, and sweat beaded on his forehead. It seemed impossible. He took a deep breath and tried again and again. He braced his feet, used a sturdy branch as a lever, and channeled every last ounce of his remaining strength. Slowly, painfully, the great boulder began to shift. Inch by inch, he pushed it to the side of the road, clearing the path for others. Exhausted but satisfied, he bent down to pick up his vegetables. But as he did, he noticed something in the spot where the boulder had been. It was a small leather pouch. He picked it up. It was heavy. Curious, he opened it, and his eyes widened in disbelief. Inside was a bag filled with gold coins, and on top of the gold, a note from the king himself. The note read, "The obstacle in the path becomes the way through. Never forget that within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve one's condition." The peasant finally understood. The boulder wasn't just a rock. It was a test of character, a test of responsibility. While others saw a problem to be avoided, he saw a duty to be fulfilled. The reward wasn't just the goal. It was the realization that the power to overcome challenges and create opportunities lies within us. This story reminds us that life is full of boulders. We can complain about them, blame others, or wait for someone else to move them. Or, we can choose to be the one who takes action, because the greatest rewards are often found not by avoiding obstacles, but by having the courage to face them head on. The obstacle is the way. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that inspires you to move your own boulders.